Hey everyone, we are back again with the third and final round of my PlayStation collection. This time we are moving on to the PS5. This should be the last set of games that we have to cover. Like usual, we're going to start with the physical version. I'm going to try my best to keep this one concise because there's not, compared to like PS3, PS4, there's not too many games here physical wise. There's also quite a few that are still in their shrink wrap, and so it's like, I just get these games and I just haven't really played them. And so that's another reason we're going to try and make this one a little bit more concise, just because if I have the game and they're still in the shrink wrap, like I bought it, just haven't played it, then I'm just going to try and quickly talk about that one, why I got it, bada bing bada boom, knock it out as quick as I can. And so naturally some I'm going to talk about a little longer, and it's just the nature of things. I'm a little long-winded when it comes to games. If you couldn't tell already, I just love talking about games. And so that's that. I guess before jumping into it, a little like history with PS5. It's only been 5 years since this console's been out, which, I mean, it's honestly kind of crazy in and of itself. I mean, this came out in 2020. By the time I'm recording this, it's like the last 2 days of 2025. And so it's kind of crazy how it's already been 5 years. I did not get a PS5 day one. That like 2020, that was the year I built my PC. And so I remember when I built it in like May. I'm like, I can hold off on getting a PS5. I don't need a day one. But that FOMO kind of got to me when it came out, and I saw my friends getting it. Everyone posting on like Snapchat, Instagram stories, how they got the PS5. And so I got a little FOMO. I will admit, I did get a little FOMO. And so, yeah, it wasn't until like April of 2021 when I got it. I remember getting Twitter, literally just so I can like keep like tabs on when they're dropping them. And so, Wario 64, that was my go-to. That's what I followed. Now it wants to focus. Okay. I don't lost my train of thought. Shoot, where was I? Yeah, well, I followed Wario 64 just so I can like keep track of when they're dropping PS5s, and so whenever I see it drop, I would try my best to get it, and it just wouldn't work. What ended up working for me was Ant Online. It was actually a store. I don't even know if they're still around because I don't ever see anything posted about them anymore, but Ant Online, I remember they had a bundle. Actually, it was a bundle it was like about $1,000. It was the PS5. You got an extra controller. I think you got 2 games, Miles Morales and Demon Souls, and then you got a year of PlayStation Plus. And so, and then like the PlayStation camera. That was another thing I remember. But yeah, so if you like take all that into account, because I want to make sure I didn't get ripped off when I bought it, it all added up. So like I wasn't getting ripped off or anything, and I mean, heck, that was how I got my PS5. And so that's my story there. Been rocking with that thing for the last almost 4 years now. Like April 2026 will be 5 years since I got the PS5. And so that's that. And now we're gonna get into the games themselves. We're gonna do this like normal, alphabetical order, starting with A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. Okay, I just want to make sure my alphabet. I just want to make sure I'm right. Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon. I remember when this came out in 2023, I believe. Hearing a lot of good things about it from Software, who nowadays are more known for like their Souls games, but used to make the Armored Core games. And again, I've just heard nothing but great things about this. The main reason I picked this up though is for a challenge that I am still working on, still very early into. This is not super difficult platinum, but on the more, I think it's like a 6 out of 10. And so yeah, I got it for a challenge. Don't know too much about this game. I know you're just in a mech, and that's kind of it. See, I'm just kind of try and breeze through these because again, some of these I don't really know too much about, don't have too much experience. I've never played Armored Core in my life, and so yeah, I know there's some good customization, I do remember that, but that's about it when it comes to Armored Core. So again, we're gonna make these incredibly brief if I have not played it. And next up, a couple Assassin's Creed games, Assassin's Creed Mirage. Like I mentioned in the PS4 video, Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the first one on PS5, but I bought the PS4 version. This is my first, I guess, real PS5 Assassin's Creed game. And I remember the whole like gimmick was, or the whole shtick here was they're trying to go back to the OG Assassin's Creed, like Assassin's Creed 1 in terms of scale, size, and all that. This, I feel like, has gotten like, I remember at the time when this came out, there was like really like just a bunch of hype, really good reviews on it. But I think after some time, a lot of people just didn't like it as much. I think because, I mean, I don't know, I guess the things they were asking for, like they got it, but they didn't like the, I don't really know. I don't want to like generalize here because I haven't played it myself. It's been like a couple years since this came out. So I don't remember the discourse about it too well. I'd have to do some research on that. But I got it on Christmas 2023. I remember it was on a good sale and I played for, I don't know, an hour or so. That's really it. You know, when I got this, I had intentions to platinum it, of course, and I wanted to platinum the Assassin's Creed games, which is why I just haven't really gotten to it yet. And yeah, it's kind of sitting on my backlog. We'll get to it though at some point, since it is a shorter Assassin's Creed game. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Shadows, the only other PS5 Assassin's Creed game I have physical. This one came out back in the beginning of March, after going through a couple delays, and I just remember so much unnecessary controversy around this one, for obvious reasons. I don't really feel like talking about that right now. I just really don't. The discourse around this was incredibly dumb, but I did get this day one. Played for, I don't know, 10 hours. Not because the game was bad. I did fall off of this one. Again, it wasn't bad or anything by any means. I enjoyed what I was playing. It just kind of hit around that time when I felt like I was playing a little, like, I think I was playing too many games at one time. And so this was just one of those games I just happened to drop around that time. But again, I enjoyed what I played, had fun with what I was doing. Obviously now we're in a post Ghost of Yotei world. So I don't know how, ideally I would probably finish Ghost of Yotei before I got back into this. I don't know how things are going to shake up once, you know, I get back into that, but we'll see. Should be very interesting. I will admit, what's interesting is the stories in this and Ghost of Yotei are very similar. So I guess it will be a nice comparison to see which one handles things better. And so, yeah, that's Assassin's Creed Shadows. Then we have Game of the Year 2024, Astro Bots. Now, I'm going to talk about this in my digital video, but Astro's Playroom, a phenomenal game. I love Astro's Playroom. And so when they announced Astrobot, I was beyond excited for this, to be 100% honest with you. Yes, at the end of the day, it is I don't want to say a kid's game, but I mean, it is kind of geared more towards kids, you know, to 3D platformer. Of course, not saying adults can't play 3D platformers. That is certainly not what I'm trying to like assume here or like make a case for, because I played this, I platinumed this, I had a blast with this game. I can 100% understand how this game got Game of the Year in 2024. It's such a fantastic video game, and this, for me, this hit during a time when I just wasn't really like in the best mindset, right? Life just wasn't really looking optimistic for me, right, when this came out. And at the time, I was playing, again, I was kind of playing too many games at one time. I was juggling Star Wars Outlaws, I was juggling Shadow of Mordor, there's probably a couple other games that come, Alien Isolation, I think. And so this one was just a really nice game to kind of sit back, chillax with, and just like not have to think super hard about, right? Just go through the levels, do what I can, find the like different Easter eggs and whatnot, and just have a fun time. This game is the definition of fun. It's like, there's really not much else I can say about this. I would recommend Astrobot to literally anyone who has a PS5. This game is just phenomenal, dude. Not much more I can say about this one. Couldn't recommend it enough. If you have not played Astro's Playroom, I implore you to play that. It's on your PS5 if you have one. It's free. Don't have to like pay anything at all, dude. And then if you play Astro's Playroom and you like it, get Astrobot. It's the same thing, a lot more levels, a lot more to do. It's such a fun time. Such a fun time. Then last up with the A's, show you how fast we're kind of moving through this. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Now, I'm a huge Avatar fan. I love the movies. I so I'm gonna just go like just a little bit of a side tangent here. So Avatar, I remember I was like, I think I was 9 when the movie came out, but I didn't see it till I was maybe like 10 or so. I didn't see it in theaters. I think my dad, I think at the time, my dad's usually the one who takes us to these kind of movies. I think my dad was deployed at the time. He was in the army, so he wasn't at home. So it's just like me, my mom, my sister, I think one of my uncles, and I guess she just wasn't into Avatar. I don't think my mom's ever seen the first Avatar. And so this was one we ended up getting from Netflix back when you could rent, I think you still can, but back when you could rent DVDs from Netflix. So that's how I watched Avatar the first time. And then of course it would come on TV a lot, so I'd watch it that way too. But it wasn't until Way of Water was coming out when they re-released it in IMAX near me. Saw it in IMAX, I saw it twice in IMAX, blew my mind. Like I've seen I'm spoiled enough that I've seen plenty of movies in IMAX, but there have been very few instances where a movie in IMAX has completely blown me away the way Avatar, all 3 Avatars at this point have. They're just I enjoy those movies a lot. I know a lot of people say they're overrated, whatever. I find enjoyment out of them. I saw the first Avatar twice when they released it on IMAX. I saw Way of Water. I saw Way of Water 5 times. Not all in IMAX. I saw it, no. I saw it twice in IMAX. And then once with my family in regular, like, standard format, and then a couple times with my sister, just me and my sister. And so she loves Avatar as well. But I love Avatar. And then Fire and Ash, I've only seen once. I do plan on seeing it maybe a couple more times. It just kind of depends on how life's going right now. But yes, going to Frontiers of Pandora, when they did announce this, I was pretty excited. You know, we were coming hot off of Way of Water, and more Avatar games would be nice because we only have the one from 2009, which was a movie tie-in game. Very first video I covered on the channel. And so this one, you know, we've had time to see what it's not based off it's based in the universe, obviously, and I played enough where like it takes place, I think, sometime after the first movie. They do make some callbacks to that, but this is its own thing, its own little story. And I mean, just playing it now in this came out in 2023. The time I did play with it, just freaking beautiful, dude. Like, the way technology has progressed, at least with video games over the last like 15 years or so, just like astounding. Like the way this looks compared to the one that came out in 2009, crazy difference, dude. Now, I have not finished it. I only played for, I think, like 5 hours or so when I first got it. I got it on sale like Christmas 2023, around it was probably half, if not half off, probably like a really good sale, which is why I got it. And so I didn't play much of it when it first came out, but I'm actually really excited to jump into it now because they have the 3rd-person mode and they have an expansion for Fire and Ash. And so definitely excited to hop back in and check out this one. Moving on to the Bs, we have Black Myth Wukong. Now this one is a bit of a weird one. I just remember last year when this came out, hearing all of the good things about this game, and I don't know what, like, it's not Souls-like. That's like the main thing they were trying to like tell us when this was coming out. It's not Souls-like at all, you know. It's just a normal straight up action game. And from the time I have played it, I can definitely understand why they were trying to like differentiate themselves from the whole Souls-like genre, because it doesn't play 100% like a Souls-like game. And so let's see, I played this a lot. Really, this is another game I got for Christmas last year. I did make an effort to play more of this, but I haven't finished this one either. I played, again, probably like 5 to 10 hours or so of this. I think after a while, because it had been so long, this was another game I'm going to add to like a challenge that I'm doing here, because it's not a super difficult game when like you compare it to other Souls-likes or anything like that. It's like right in the middle, like a 5 out of 10. And so this is one I'm going to add for the challenge, because I'm gonna be completely honest, like from what I did play, the story just was not making any sense to me at all. I've never read the like book it's based on, Journey to the West. I watched like a recap or something while I was playing the game, but that's about it. I did want to buy the book or books. I think there are multiple books on this, I don't really remember, but I didn't want to do that so I can get familiar with what's exactly going on in this, but I just never did. And I don't know. I definitely need to play more of it though, because I mean, from what I did play, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. And then next up, the only other B game I have on PS5 will be Borderlands 4, a very recent release. This came out September, I think. It came out in September, and as you can tell from the PS4 video, I enjoy the Borderlands games. I have all the other Borderlands games. At this point, I have all the Borderlands games, all of them. And so this one, I remember, I can't remember. I know the Game Awards was when a big trailer came out. I cannot remember if another trailer came out before Game Awards, but Game Awards is what really hyped me up for it. The trailer they made for that was phenomenal, dude. The song Starburster, they had Starburster as the song choice, dude. It was so good. I enjoyed that trailer. I did. I enjoyed it a lot personally. And so, yes, I remember, throughout the year, they've been doing a bunch of promos, a bunch of they did state of play on this, and everything I saw, it seemed good, it seemed fine. I was ready, but then it dropped, and reviews were good. They did, they leaned on the good side, but I just remember hearing a bunch of performance issues that was going on with this game, and yeah, just a lot of weird stuff going on with this. And so that didn't turn me off necessarily. It's just, again, I was kind of in a weird point in life come September, going into October, and so I wasn't getting a lot of new games. My sister actually she got this for me on my birthday, and so that's how I ended up getting it. If not, I probably just would have waited for a sale or something to get this. And so yeah, shout out to my sister. She knows what I like, she knows my tastes. And so also I did say I wanted this for my birthday, and so she did get this for me. I do want to get to this sooner rather than later though, just because I don't want to have it sitting around collecting dust for so long. And so yeah, Borderlands 4. All right, moving on. There's only one game I have with seat. See, we're just kind of cruising through this, man. One game I have, which is kind of surprising actually, but one game I have that starts with C, and that would be Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Game of the Year for 2025. I heard nothing but great things for this game all throughout the year. I remember this game, my dad actually played this. Because it dropped on Game Pass back in, this came out in March or April, one of those 2 months. He got on Game Pass, but he only played it for maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. But yeah, this is another game I got on my birthday because I had heard so much good things throughout the year about this game, and so I kind of wanted to see what all the hype was about. And so yes, this is definitely one I want to get to sooner rather than later as well, because yeah, again, nothing but great things. Completely sweeped the Game Awards for the most part. I think it only lost one category. A little bit, they've gotten a little bit of hot water now just because all this stuff with generative AI. I don't know. I don't want to throw my opinion in there when I don't really know what's really going on here. But yeah, I don't think that really takes away the fact that a lot of people love this game. The industry seems to love this game as well, and so definitely want to see what all the hype is here. Moving on, this is actually my most recent pickup. I got this one 2 weeks ago. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. I remember when Dead Cells came out 2017, 2018. This was one of an indie darling that year. Now that I'm getting into roguelikes and roguelites, I figured I would give it a shot because so many, I remember, I think one dude at work, he saw me playing Vampire Survivors one day and he's like, you ever play Dead Cells? I'm like, no, but I've heard about it. He's like, you should definitely try it. And so I was just at my local GameStop looking around, see what they had. I saw this, and I'm like, why not? I mean, it's the whole game, Dead Cells, and all the DLC pretty much. And so, yeah, man, I kind of wanna. I mean, I'm kind of in a weird spot with roguelites. I'm kind of I finished Vampire Survivors. I want to hop back into a couple others that I played this year just to finish up some DLC stuff. But I think once I'm finished with that, this will be the next one. I actually have so many roguelikes and roguelites that I want to play, but this one is just a classic pretty much. I've just heard nothing but great things about this over the years, and so definitely gotta check this one out. You want to talk about a game that was in development hell for so long and surprised everyone? That game was Dead Island 2. I think I touched on this in the digital version maybe, but Dead Island, I had those when they remastered it like 2016 or something. But yeah, I've heard like the Dead Island 2 trailer has been around for so long, and we were just like, are we ever gonna get Dead Island 2? It's been years. It's like at this point it's gonna be vaporware. And then I believe it was Gamescom 2022. This is what they ended the show with, I believe. And I mean, all the hype kind of came back. You know, we were all skeptical about what would happen when they released. But then I remember reviews dropping. They were all pretty good. And so very surprised. I mean, shouldn't really be surprised, but still kind of surprised, you know, because again, games that are stuck in development hell kind of have a track record of coming out and just like not doing well. So I think this one really surprised everyone when it did drop, and it did do really well. I played this like last summer. I was kind of like a weird spell in the summer, like trying to find something to play. And I started Dead Island 2, played for, again, probably like an hour or so. But I mean, again, just I've seen and heard nothing but great things about this game. Who made this? Deep Silver along with Dambuster Studios. I'm trying to see. I think Deep Silver, they also do Dying Light 2 as well. And so kind of weird, or not weird, but interesting like comparison between the two. And so yeah, Dead Island 2. I got this one, I want to say 2023. I think it was on like a sale or something. And so I got it from Best Buy because I remember a funny story actually really quick. When I did get it from Best Buy, I wasn't paying attention to what console I got it on, and so I ended up getting it on Xbox. But then once I realized that, I'm like, yo, can I return this and get the PS5 version? I think there was only one more copy in the store. Luckily we found it before someone else grabbed it. But in addition to the Dead Island 2, it's like day one edition, I also got a steelbook case featuring what I would presume to be one of the characters from the game, and then also a zombie on the back. And so that's Dead Island 2, man. Dead Island 2. Moving on, now a game I can finally like talk about for a little bit. Deathloop. This one came out in 2021, September 2021. I was still very early into playing some of the newer games on PS5, and I think this is also, I could be wrong, I think this is one of the first games that was released only on PS5. There are definitely plenty out there, but one of like the actual PS5, like this was a PS5 exclusive for a while. And so I remember getting it day one, and I remember not being super hot on the game when it first came out. You know, I played here and there for like a week or so, and it wasn't really grabbing me. But you know, I would keep going, I keep playing it, and then just at one point it kind of hooked me in. I was like, everything clicked, and I finally understood what was going on. And I understand why this game was getting like 10 out of 10s across the board, right? And so I remember this was still when I was very, very early into platinum hunting for games. I remember playing it, I finished it, and then I kind of like looked around, I looked at the trophy list, and I'm like, I kind of want to keep playing, you know? I'm not ready to be done with this game. I just want to keep playing. And so this is one of the first, and also one of like the few games where playing, like going through and completing the trophy list, exposed me to things I would not have noticed otherwise if I played normally, those are some of my favorite trophy lists in gaming, when like it kind of takes you out of your comfort zone a little bit. And this is exactly what it did. Again, like it showed me things I just would not have seen or done otherwise if I wasn't going for the platinum. Like I was doing, like trying to plan it so I can take out all the enemies in like one go. Just like, I don't remember some of the trophies, but this is just one of my favorite trophy lists in the game. I get like, if there's like, I don't know if I would credit this for my love for trophy hunting, but this is definitely one that I thoroughly enjoyed, like 100%. This was such a fun game to platinum. I would do it again in a heartbeat, to be completely honest. Like it's on Xbox now. There's a good chance I might get it again on Xbox just so I can do that. And so Deathloop, I love this game. I can understand though why some people wouldn't, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a bit. Moving on, we have Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. This is the remake of Destroy All Humans 2. And I think out of all the Destroy All Humans games I've played so far, so like Destroy All Humans Remake, Destroy All Humans 2, Destroy All Humans 2 Remake, or Reprobed, this is easily my favorite out of the four. I mean, they're not like separate games or anything like that, but if you just kind of look at them individually, This one's easily my favorite. Again, it keeps everything, it pretty much keeps everything from the original game intact while bringing over the changes that the first Destroy All Humans remake made, like being able to like skate around the city and stuff like that, making things a little bit more fluid. And then I'm trying to think, the graphics, major improvement there. This game, I think because it is the PS5 version, it still looks fantastic. Dang, what's the girl's name? The Russian girl's name. I don't remember her name, but bro, I'm not even trying to be funny. She's a straight baddie in this one, man. Like, she looks good. Crypto looks good. Crypto has some mad drip in this game too. All of them look good. It's like, this is a beautiful game to play. This is a fun game to play. A fun platinum I got. A little tedious after opening it just because of all the side stuff you have to do, but even still, this is without a doubt my favorite game in the whole series. I still need to keep playing. Like, this is a multiplayer game I need to play. And also I got Path of the Furon for the 360 because I can only like 100% on the 360. And so definitely want to like get that so I can finish up the Destroy All Humans franchise. But definitely one of my favorite games out of the franchise easily. I'm trying to think, like, no, there's really not much else I can say. It's just a fantastic game. Let's see, Devil May Cry 5. What's the subtitle? Special Edition. That's it. I have not played the PS5 version, but I did play the PS4 version. I got that one. I believe that one dropped in 2019. I didn't get it until like that summer when it was on sale, and then I didn't play it until that was my freshman year of college. So like sometime September, I think October most likely, is when I played it, because I'd played all the Devil May Cry games up to that point, and so this 5 was the only one I needed to play. I absolutely loved my time with Devil May Cry 5. You know, jumping back and forth between all the different characters might have been jarring, but it was still fun. I enjoyed it, especially the new guy V. He was fun to play as. Make this thing focus. So Devil May Cry 5. I think. I mean, I remember I traded in the PS4 version when I built my PC, and so I just got the PS5 version again because I'm like, it'll probably just be easier that way. I am probably missing out on some trophies there, but it's fine. I don't really mind doing this one again. And I think this might easily be my favorite out of all of them, aside from 3, because 3 is also really good. But this one's definitely my favorite to play. Now, when I do play it, I think I said this when I was talking about Devil May Cry, when I do play them again, I do want to like actually take the time to like memorize the combos and just like build up my stylish ranking, because I'll be honest, I do button mash a little bit with these games. Like I don't take the time to like practice or memorize combos or anything like that, but I really do. I do want to change that when I do go back and replay these games. But yeah, Devil May Cry 5, phenomenal game. Love it. Next we have a bit of a weird one, Diablo 4. I've actually never played any of the Diablo games. I've only heard like great things, like 2. I remember 2, that kind of was like, I guess when you ask like a hardcore Diablo fan which one's their favorite, I think most likely they would say 2, just from what I've always heard. I think that one, like people are still playing. I wouldn't be surprised if people are still playing like the original version to this day. But yeah, I remember when like Diablo 3 came out, people were mad about that one. I think they were still just playing Diablo 2. And so Diablo 4, I got this one. It was on a really deep sale when I got this one, like only $10 from GameStop. And so that's why I got it. Also part of a challenge I'm working on. And so yeah, that's Diablo 4. Again, you can't really see it, I can't find like the right placement where you can like still see the game and whatnot. But yeah, Diablo 4. We have a bit of a weird one, maybe a controversial one if you want to say that. Dragon Age the Veilguard. So I remember for the PS3 video, I mentioned when I'd seen previews for this one, how excited I was to get this one. And so I remember when this came out, reviews and everything, even though reviews were good, it still seemed a bit skeptical the way people were talking about this game, especially the community. Like the way people were dragging this game was crazy. And so this came out October of 2024, and I remember I got this in February of this year. It was already on sale for like $15, dude. It was crazy how deep of a discount it already was when I got this. But that's not even the crazy part. It eventually released for free on PlayStation Plus. I'm not upset about that, but I think it was like couple weeks ago during like sales, Christmas sales and everything. I want to say this was on sale for $5. Five, if it wasn't $5, $10, which is so crazy to think about. Like, bro, how did we fumble the bag that hard for it to already be on that deep of a sale already? It's only been a year. There have been games that have been out for 2-3 years that at the most they may drop to $20, if that. And it's like the fact that this dropped to even like single digits, just insane to think about. Like I need to play this game. I need to see what all the hubbub is. Cause like, is this game, if you've played this game, leave a comment. Is this game as bad as people are saying? I don't think so, but I just want to know for myself. And so, yeah, I just need to at some point sit down, play all the Dragon Age games, and have Belgar just be the one to cap it off. And like, I just need to know. I need to know what's going on with this game. I really do. Like, it cannot be that bad, can it, man? All right, last game that starts with a D is Dying Light 2. As you can see by the box, I did get the deluxe edition, which I think was $70 or something. And this is just the sleeve, because it also comes with a nice steelbook. It's been a while since I looked at this steelbook, so I didn't even know what that looked like. I didn't know we were going to see a face here, but also, I don't know these guys' names, but just these big scary guys that only come out at night. And so Dying Light 2, just looking at the inside here, got this one day one, or like the night of, in 2022, because they did do an early release, 2022, or was it 2021? No, it was 2022. It was definitely 2022, because I remember this was my burnout phase, because I did get this day one, $70. I only played for a handful of hours until I just kind of stopped, because again, it's not that I wasn't enjoying the game, it's just it was hard to find the motivation to play any games for majority of 2022. There's another game here that I'm gonna get into a little later that I like kind of had the same feelings about. But yeah, Dying Light 2, this one though, the thing with Dying Light, just all the games in general, continuously being updated. Like, this game is still being updated to this day. That's the one thing that's really good, that like what Techland was doing, especially now that the Beast is out, Dying Light the Beast, is like they just continue to update this game over the years, just brought in a bunch of features that all like the players wanted and everything, which is always really nice to hear. And so this game has definitely turned around a lot since I first got it, and because of that, I'm actually super excited to hop in and just see what's going on, like see how much has changed actually with Dying Light 2. Because again, I enjoyed my time with it when I played it. I just was not like super motivated to continue going, and so that's the main reason I stopped playing. But we're gonna change that. We're gonna change that. Actually, I want to change that really soon, especially since the Beast came out not too long ago. We're gonna get all these platinums. We're gonna do it. And then we have Game of the Year for 20. I have a lot of Game of the Years here. The only one, I think that actually the only one, there's two. Oh no, there's actually one. The only Game of the Year game from like the last few years or so that I do not have is Baldur's Gate 3, which my friend has been like consistently telling me I need to get. And so that's the only game of like, just I'm going ahead and jump into like the digital side of things. That's the only Game of the Year game I do not have from like the last few years or so. And so that's that. But yeah, Game of the Year 2022 was Elden Ring. The weird thing with Elden Ring, and so weird thing for me, is because again, Souls-like's not really my cup of tea when it comes to gaming. There's just so many, like just so many. I will admit, like I will completely lay it out right here. I just feel like this is gonna be a hot take for sure. I just feel like the genre itself is very overrated in my opinion, and there's just so many Souls-like games out there, right? And so when this came out, I didn't get it day one. I heard all the great things about it. I just like you couldn't escape Elden Ring for like months, dude. And so I remember my dad, he got it day one. He is like the last person I would ever expect to play a Souls-like at all. No, like this isn't any shade or anything like that. It's just not, those games are definitely not his cup of tea either. But he got it day one and he loved this game. He fell in love with this game. I don't think like in the last few years or so, I don't think a game has really captivated him as much as Elden Ring did. And I'll be honest, that kind of like I wanted to try the game because of that. And so like this was all he played for a hot minute. I remember him talking about Millennia, like that's how deep he was into this game, bro. He spent like a week trying to fight Millennia. And so yeah, come like Black Friday of 2022, I'm like, I'm gonna get it. It was on sale for I think maybe $30 or something, and I got it. And so I played it over my Christmas break, and I got hooked on it pretty quickly. Like the thing I think I liked, and I think a lot of people like about Elden Ring, is the fact that it's open world, right? And so you could just go wherever, and you can do whatever, right? Unlike the Souls games, which in my opinion, at least from what I played in Dark Souls 1, can be a little obtuse in terms of like navigating environments and just stuff like that, and like building out your character. I feel like this was a little bit more approachable. There's definitely still some of that in there, and there are more than a handful of times when I had to look up a walkthrough to do something, but this one I think just really was a lot more approachable in terms of like just being able to tackle things at your own pace. You know, if you're trying to fight a boss and you just keep getting destroyed, go off, do whatever you want to do to level up your character, come back, and if you can defeat him, you got it, bro. And so I just really enjoyed that whole concept when it came to Elden Ring. And you know, I couldn't tell you jack shit about the story. I don't think there are people who love the lore in these games. I could care less, which is kind of weird coming from me, because like story and lore and everything, that's what I love about games. Not this, like I just could not tell you anything that's really, like I can probably tell you a little bit about this game, like the general premise of it, but other than that, like all the small details that this game has, I couldn't tell you a damn thing. I really could not. And so, but I mean, again, that's not really what I came to this game for. I came here to just have fun, vibe, and like get my ass beat multiple times, you know? And so, I mean, I got the platinum for this too. This is the only Souls game I have the platinum for. And to be honest, this is probably the only one I have the platinum for a long time. Because again, it's gonna take me a minute to get into these Souls games, man. It really is. But like the only other one I'm like tempted to play at this point is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. But other than that, I mean, again, Elden Ring, I can understand how this game won Game of the Year 2022. A phenomenal game, a fantastic game. Because that just reminded me, my dad has one of my games here. He probably has a couple actually, but yes, Elden Ring, phenomenal game. Can understand how this won Game of the Year at 2022. It really is a good game. All right, just steadily moving along here. We have Far Cry 6. I have that pre-owned GameStop sticker. Let's see, this one I think also was a 2021 release, and you know, came out, heard some good reviews about it, but I just didn't get it day one. Again, Far Cry has always just been a weird franchise for me. It really wasn't until Far Cry 5 when I really got into the series, and so yeah, Far Cry 6, again, I still like the trailers for this though seemed really cool, and so that's definitely one thing that intrigued me. You have the dual protagonist system, not like dual, like you switch back and forth, but you can just choose between, I think they're siblings, and so you can just choose between the brother or sister. I think that's the dynamic there, and so yeah, just, you know, gonna check this out whenever I get around to it. Moving on, we have Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy games, I've been like trying to get into this series for a while now. I do enjoy them, I do actually. But the only ones I have ever finished were Final Fantasy 1, because I got them on my iPhone back in like 2016. And then, let's see, I played Final Fantasy 7 like in spurts. I've always tried the original one. I've always tried getting into it, but after a while, it's just kind of like it loses me at some point. I don't really know what it is with that one, but 7 and then 15 are the only ones that I played in this series. And so Final Fantasy 16, you know, when all the trailers and stuff were coming out, I wasn't really paying too much attention to it, but then reviews were coming out and I kind of was paying attention a little bit then. I played a little bit of a demo that released back in 2023, and the score is actually really good. There's like one song, I don't remember the name of it, but there is one song that I've actually like, I have in like my score playlist that I like vibe with heavy. It's so good. And so I remember it was 2020, like a year after, so 2024, I saw this on sale. I'm like, oh, I'll finally bite and get it. And so Final Fantasy 16, I want to see what's going on. Ben Starr is also like a really delivers a really good performance here. And so Final Fantasy 16. All right, and then we move on from a fantastic game to honestly a couple of stinkers from what I've heard. The first one, embarrassingly, not really, because I think I can come up with a fun video for this. Forspoken, probably the laughing stock of the gaming industry whenever this released. I've always just heard mixed things about Forspoken. You know, some people enjoy it, a lot of people do not, and I do remember I played a demo for this for like maybe 10 minutes. I just remember the controls kind of confusing me. I got a little lost in some of the sauce here that they were trying to do. And so I didn't play much of that demo, but I figured why not get it? It was on sale for like $10 when I got it, which I thought was pretty good in my eyes. And so I don't know, some of the gameplay looks pretty cool. A lot of people bash the writing, which they always play like the same clips over and over, and I don't know, we're gonna see. I'm gonna have to judge it for myself, but I did get it. It was only $10, and so we're gonna check it out and see what's going on here at some point. And then the next stinker that I just hear a lot of people discuss. Hold on, let me take off the sticker. Actually, never mind. This game definitely got traded in a lot, I can tell you that. Funko Fusion. Now, as you can see by my wall here, and that's not even all, I love Funko Pops. I'll say I love. I wasn't gonna say I loved, but I do enjoy a good Funko Pop here and there. But I started collecting Funko Pops back in like 2018. When The Last Jedi was coming out. That's what kickstarted my whole Funko Pop addiction. And so let's see, I'm gonna just really, so there's the ones on that wall right there, and then there's also like a wall of Funko Pops I have right there. Ignore my bed, I did not make it up today, I'm sorry. But I have a wall of Funko Pops right there. And heck, I mean, if y'all are interested, I can always do a little Funko Pop tour. But yes, I do enjoy a good Funko Pop. And so yeah, whenever they were announcing like a Funko Pop game, I was a little bit excited, but at the same time I was not, because I think the idea of playing as Funko Pops was really cool. It's just the IPs that they based it on that really did not sell it for me. And so if you look, you have Scott Pilgrim, which I do like. I do like Scott Pilgrim. You also have Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, which I'm a little bit more iffy on, to be like 100% honest. You have Megan, you have Us, you have Shaun of the Dead, The Thing, He-Man, Freddy Fazbear, Battlestar Galactica, Jaws, Back to the Future. So like, the thing with me, Invincible, you have them up there. I wasn't even reading like the text, because I just now noticed that. I wasn't even reading the text here. I was just kind of going off the characters. I'm familiar with the characters. I'm familiar with what they're based on. I've just never seen like half of these IPs before. I'm gonna just real quick, you're gonna look at the back of the box. I've seen Scott Pilgrim, I've seen Us, I've seen season 1 of Invincible, I've watched a little bit of Back to the Future, I've watched season 1, or not season 1, the first Jaws movie, like last year. Jurassic World, I'm very iffy on those. Let's see, but I mean, that's really it. Like, I've never seen Megan, I've never seen Shaun of the Dead, I've never seen Umbrella Academy. I've never seen The Thing, although I do plan on changing that pretty soon, because it does look very interesting. I've never seen The Thing. I've never seen The Mummy. Battlestar Galactica, surprisingly, I've never seen that. My dad loves that show. Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, Knight Rider, Xena, Voltron. Like, again, I've heard of these IPs before. I've just never, I don't know if it's just like a thing, I've just never like been interested in them or whatnot. I've just never seen it. I've never seen them. And so that's the thing that really turned me off of Funko Fusion when it came out, because I wasn't really into these IPs at the time. I'm to be 100% honest, I'm still not. But again, I mean, that didn't really like change the fact that the game, when it came out, just didn't do that well, didn't review that well. I guess it was just a very, from what I can remember, like a shallow interpretation of the Lego games, but just with Funko Pops. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's my little spiel there. I got it because it was pretty much just because it was on sale. I only got it for $20, which I didn't think was that bad. Pretty sure I could have waited and got it for less, but I just figured why. I think I did get this at GameStop, and I think they were doing like a buy two get one free or something. So that's just the main reason I got it, because buy two get one free. And so yeah, Funko Fusion, I'm skeptical, but would like to try it at some point in the future. Now we move on to the G's and probably start with the game I was definitely the most hyped for in 2025. That would be Ghost of Yotei. I loved Ghost of Tsushima when that came out in 2020, and so naturally when they announced this, I think they announced it during just like a random state of play. I was super excited for this. So I will say I have not played too much of this either. I've only played for like 10 hours. This just came out during like a not so great period in my life, and so I played for 10 hours, but after that I just kind of couldn't find the motivation to continue playing, and I still haven't really touched it since I played in October. But I would 100% want to get back. I honestly did the same thing with Ghost of Tsushima. I remember I got that in like day one 2020, so that was I think July of 2020, and I played it for a few hours. I played like intermittently here and there, and so it took me a while to finish Ghost of Tsushima. I guess, but the thing there is like that one, to me, in my opinion, has a bit of a slow opening. This one doesn't. This one kind of just like you jump right in, especially if you play Ghost of Tsushima, you just jump right in and you're going. You're pretty much on the move the whole time. And so Ghost of Yotei, from the 10 hours I did play though, I love this. Like the story is fantastic, right? But the amount of times that I've been trying to like just go to a destination and I get pulled off to the side by that yellow bird to just go do a whole nother side activity, I can't tell you how many times I have done that. And it's gotten to a point where there are just a couple of sessions where I'm just like, I need to just focus on what I'm trying to do. I need to focus on the story. I need to focus on like the side activities and like just whatever, right? So yes, it's very easy to get distracted in this game, but that's like, it's fantastic. And just being able to just explore this beautiful open world, fantastic, dude. Sucker Punch, they cook, man. They cook when it comes, like, ever since Infamous, they have not missed, dude. They have not missed at all, in my opinion. And so I 100% want to get back into this. I'm 100% looking forward to getting back into this and getting that platinum. I do want to continue playing this. Next up, we have Ghostwire Tokyo. I got this one back in 2021. It was on sale. And I remember hearing some iffy things about this one as well when this one first released. And so of course I got this when it was on a sale, got it for Christmas in 2021. And I've only played this for like 2 hours. I don't know, I don't know, man. There's so many games in here where I've gotten and I've only played for like a handful of hours and I've just never touched. And so definitely this one though, jeez, this one though, I cannot talk right now. Does seem like a nice game to just throw on a podcast and vibe to, because a lot of the criticism I've seen for this, especially when it comes to like 100%ing it, is the amount of collectibles that are in this game. If I just throw on a podcast for like during like a random weeknight or something and just dedicate some time to this, I'd probably vibe just doing that, because that's one of like a lot of trophy hunters don't like collectibles and stuff, and depending on the game, it can get a little annoying. It can get a little too much, but if I just throw on a podcast, time just melts away. If I just have something else, that might speak to how my brain works. It might have a little tism in me or something. I don't really know. But like, if I just throw on a podcast, the most menial task in a game can go by in an instant like that for me. And so, yeah, definitely, I think just if I need a game where I can just I just need to chill, want to vibe, want to like throw on a podcast or something to put on the background, this might be it. This might be the time for Ghostwire Tokyo to shine. And so, yeah, gonna leave that sitting here for a minute until I just find the right time, or like if I just want to platinum something for the channel, maybe, I don't know. That's gonna be just sitting there though. Same thing goes for Gollum. This is gonna be sitting in my collection for a while. I really just got this because I heard all the bad things about this back in, what, 2023? And this is when I was getting into trophy hunting and like videos and whatnot. And so I just figured this would be a fun game to make a video on the channel. Obviously, I have not done that. I've only played this game for like, I think 30 minutes. I think I got like maybe 2 or 3 trophies out of that. And so, yeah, after that, I'm just kind of like, there are just too many good games out there for me to just waste my time here. And so just whenever I find some downtime, the reason I did get this, because I also have another bad game I'm going to talk about at some point, but I was going to do like a video on like platinuming bad games or whatever. It's still an idea that's in my mind because I do have a handful of bad games sitting, quote unquote bad games sitting here in my collection, like Right to Hell Retribution, Duke Nukem Forever, like the classic ones that people think of instantly. And so, yeah, I think just like, that's the main reason I got this, because I came up with that video idea. And so at some point, I think I'm just gonna like, just do it. Moving on though, we have probably the most underrated game of this current console generation, and that would be Guardians of the Galaxy. I was hyped for this game the very first time they announced it. It was back when they were still doing E3, back in, I think this was E3 of 2020 when they first announced it. And that trailer really sold it for me. Like, I think ever since seeing the Guardians of the Galaxy movie back in 2014, like many people picked Guardians of the Galaxy on their radar. And so really anything, like I know for the PS4 video, I talked about the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game. And so when they announced this, I was actually really excited for this. I guess the main iffy thing about it was the character design for Star-Lord. Like, let's see, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Drax, and Gamora, I can kind of forgive. But yeah, Star-Lord, they were definitely like channeling that MCU Star-Lord vibe. And I don't know if I ever mentioned this, I'm not the biggest fan of when games do that, or just really any other forms of media. That's kind of more of like a turnoff for me personally, whenever it's obviously not the character from the movie, but they're making it look like the character from the movie. Like, I know the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy version did that, and that could be on me. I don't know if this is like an actual look in the comics for Star-Lord. It's just my point of reference is the movies. And so, because I've actually never read the Guardians of the Galaxy comic books, and so my point of reference is the movies. I do know about their iconic costumes because I think they were in the first Lego Marvel game, and they're in this game as well. But like the red jacket with the white shirt and just jeans and boots and the Walkman headphones, like that look is very synonymous with the 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And so it's just that, like, I can go on like a whole spiel about that, but I'm trying not to like do all that here. But yeah, that's just kind of a turn off for me, but I personally didn't mind it here. I do think they did enough to kind of differentiate it from the movies. And so, and of course there's also like alternate costumes that you can put on them. And so there is that. But yes, I absolutely loved my time at Guardians of the Galaxy when I did play it. Story in this is phenomenal. I'm still like super glad that they won Best Narrative at the Game Awards that year, because the story, this is probably one of my favorite video game stories of the last few years, if I'm being honest. Gameplay can get repetitive after a while because you're just controlling Star-Lord, and you can also like throw out commands to your other teammates and whatnot. But yeah, to me, that's probably the weakest link in the game. It's just the gameplay. Like, it does get repetitive after a while, but to me, the story carries it through. Like, I just love the story, and I want to go back and actually get the platinum for this as well, because I don't need that. I collected a good majority of the trophies when I first played it, and so definitely just want to go back and clean it up and talk about it because I love this game so much. All right, we continue our collection in the H's with Hogwarts Legacy. Now, a lot of controversy around this game, a lot of controversy around the creator. That's not what we are here to talk about today. I just want that to be known before we get into it, because I remember that's not a reason why I got the game. I do remember, so I'm still a very casual Harry Potter fan. And I remember, you know, seeing all the trailers and stuff for this, and it just wasn't really doing it for me. It wasn't selling it for me. I don't really know like what. I guess I had just seen like a bunch of stuff that week about this game, and I don't know. It really started to pique my interest, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll get it. I'll pre-order. I pre-ordered it from GameStop, got it on a Friday, and yeah, it's just actually I really ended up liking this game a lot more than I thought I would. I did finish the story. This is one of the very few PS5 games in this video that I did finish, and I loved it. I really did enjoy my time at Hogwarts Legacy. I don't. I would like to at some point go back and get the platinum because I do think I have half the trophies unlocked. But I mean, just the whole vibes of like being a student at Hogwarts, like that's never been like a dream to me personally, but it was really fun just doing that, you know, just being a student, doing average things every day. You know, learning spells, riding brooms, playing, I don't think you can play Quidditch in this one, but like just riding a broom, eventually riding a griffin, I think. I mean, this the open, we have an open world to explore here. It is pretty open, like pretty big, but I mean, like depending on the game, that's not like a bad thing. But yeah, dude, I just really like one of the main. This is like very niche. Like I think it only applies to like certain people, like including myself. I remember the hairstyles in this game were cooking, bro. Like this is a whole rant for another day. But yeah, black hairstyles in gaming, sometimes, bro, sometimes they're lacking. Sometimes they're lacking because they just give you like the basic like afro, fade, dreads, cornrows. They were cooking in Hogwarts Legacy, bro. Like if I can find screenshots of what my character looked like, I'm gonna attach them because I was cooking, bro. My character was looking good with them hairstyles, and so I remember seeing that, and that was actually one of the things that encouraged me to get it was for that. And so just one random thing I wanted to bring up when it came to that. But yes, I did actually really enjoy my time at Hogwarts Legacy a lot. I had a fun time with this. Moving on, we're not gonna do all of them at one time, but I am gonna touch on a Lego game, Lego Horizon Adventures. I got this one very recently. I think it was on sale for maybe, I think $20, $15, $20. I remember this came out last year, of course, and this did pretty good when it came to reviews and stuff, but I don't think a lot of people are really vibing with Lego Horizon Adventures. I just think it was kind of a weird title to release. Because of course, when you think of a Lego game, you think of the typical like TT Lego games, like your Lego Star Wars, your Lego Batmans, and Lego Indiana Jones and whatever. And so I think, if I'm correct, I do think their exclusivity to like their like Lego games for TT games expired like however long ago, which is why we're getting so many Lego games that just aren't based on those IPs anymore. And I mean, we still get them, but just not like, you know, we're getting more like Lego 2K Drive and like I think Lego Party, like Lego Party or whatever came out this year. There was a Lego Voyagers, I think, was another game. So yeah, we're just getting a lot more Lego games that just aren't, you know, the typical TT Lego games. But yeah, I think this just wasn't really gelling with a lot of people. And, you know, I didn't get it day one. I don't really know why I didn't, because I like Lego, I like Horizon. But yeah, I just didn't get it day one. But I guess just I was waiting for like, I think I was just waiting for a sale because I don't think this was a full price release. But I think a lot of people, I do remember a lot of people just saying like they wouldn't pay, I think it was $40 for it. And so I'm just like, I'll just wait for a sale or something. So that's what I did. That's what we got. And so like Horizon Adventures. Definitely want to play this at some point. I'm going through the whole Lego games and whatnot. And even though it's not like a typical TT Lego game, I'm still going to include it, you know, just for the heck of it. And then moving on, I had, because this is a weird one, but Horizon Forbidden West Special Edition. This was another 2022 game that I showed out a little bit more money for to get the Special Edition because, like I said in my PS4 video, the Horizon games have a very special place for me. Again, that was the first, like Horizon Zero Dawn was the first game I got when I got my first job. And so Forbidden West, I did want to go out a little bit more for because I really enjoy these games. A lot of people I think nowadays see them as a little overrated because of how hard they're pushing Horizon and Aloy and like all the remasters for the Horizon games. But I don't know, I still really enjoy these games a lot. But again, this was another game I got back in I'm just holding like the actual case. I want to take, because the opening's on the bottom, and so when I was getting it together, it kept falling out. So I just wanted to show the box first, and then of course I also got a steelbook for Horizon Forbidden West. That's the front, and then that's the back of the case. And then I also got an art book for Horizon Forbidden West. And I mean, for a game like this, you definitely, I would say you want art book for this one. And so yeah, it just looks like a fantastic game. So this one, just like Dying Light 2, this was another game that I got in this was February of 2020. Was it February? It was either February or March of 2022. I got this one day one, and I played for a little bit. I played for a few hours here and there for a couple months, and then I just, again, couldn't find the motivation to play anything, so I just didn't play this all the way through. It really wasn't until, let's see, so 2022, I wasn't really playing anything consistently for a long time, but I think it was August. It was either late July, I think it was late July or early August, when I was really getting into like platinuming games, because I wanted to platinum the whole Arkham series. And so once I was like getting back into the groove of doing that, that's when I finally went back to Horizon Forbidden West, and I ended up getting the platinum at some point in like September. I remember there was like a few nights where I was up till, because this was like my senior year of college, and so I was working at Sam's, but that was only like a weekend thing. And so yeah, my senior year of college, dude, I was a night owl, bro. I consistently was staying up till like 3, 4, sometimes 5 in the morning. I'm on Christmas break right now, and so there have been nights where I've been up to like maybe 2 to 3 maybe in the morning. But doing that consistently, you're not going to see me doing that for a very long time. I either have to have no job, because I was for like a little bit this year unemployed, and so there were like for a couple weeks there were a few nights where I was up to like maybe 3 or 4 in the morning. But consistently, you're not gonna see me do that for a long time. Like last night, because like the last few nights I was going to bed at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Last night I was in bed at least by like 1. I was really tired last night, and so just that kind of brings back memories, because I do remember there was a couple nights with this one where I was up to like 3, 4 in the morning just doing trophies and whatnot. And so yeah, dude, I really like the Horizon games. I genuinely do, and I really like Forbidden West. I'm very intrigued to see what they do for a third one, because this one, they kind of leave us on a cliffhanger. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever they do in the third one. Next, we have Hotel Barcelona. This is a game I 100% got because of the box art. This, like, I remember when I first saw the box art for this game, I was already like intrigued by what this was. It just, I don't know, some of the box art just really stood out to me. But from what I've been seeing with like reviews and just people talking about this game, it's very, from their perspective, it was disappointing, because it is a roguelike or a roguelite, one of the two. I don't know which one it is for sure, but it's definitely one of those. I mean, I've been getting into them a lot more recently, so that really hooked me in. Not much of it didn't draw me in as much, but this is a joint between Suda51 and another creator I don't really know for sure, but a lot of people pop off for. And so I think that was like the main thing that really drew people in. For me, it was the box art and the fact that it was a roguelike or a roguelite. That was the main thing that drew me in. But yeah, I've just been like, there was really no mainstream reviews for the game. And just a lot, like from like video, like a lot of like the end of the year videos and whatnot, a lot of people have this on the disappointing side of their videos. And so I pre-ordered this back in like July. I didn't get it until I think maybe early October, late September or something like that. And I'm very intrigued to see what's going on with this game. Why didn't it do as well as I think a lot of people wanted it to? But yeah, box art again really drew me in, and so yeah, I'm just very intrigued to see what this game's all about. Next, we have another Dark Pictures game, House of Ashes. This one has Ashley Tisdale in it. I think, if I'm correct, this is the third Dark Pictures anthology game. And so yeah, I just remember Ashley Tisdale was in it. That was like the main draw for me, I guess. Again, I got this because I want to platinum all the Dark Pictures games, and so this is one of the 2 that I got whenever I bought them. I just need, I think, 2 more or something like that. So there's that. Next, we have Immortals Phoenix Rising. This was a 2020 game, one of the first games to come to the PS5. but I did play this on PC back when I was, still into PC gaming, and I played this for maybe an hour or so. This is kind of like a Breath of the Wild meets Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's how I would describe it. And I don't know, there's just not really too much I can say because I just never got super far into this. So yeah, there's not really just too much I can say about this one, but I did get it like back in, I think, 2023 when it was on sale. This game's always on sale for like really cheap, and so that's just the main reason I got it then. And yeah, just gonna, play it at some point. Another Christmas game of 2023, Immortals of Avium. I remember when this was coming out as well. The reviews for this skewed, I would say, more so on the good / okay side of things. Basically, it's kind of just Call of Duty, but you're actually using magic instead of guns. And so, take with that what you will. An EA original game, which is, I think, a really interesting draw as well. I think, what was the studio? Ascendant Studios, which I think now, I think they got shut down. I think I could be wrong there, but either they got shut down or they had layoffs. One of the two. I'm pretty confident. I think they had layoffs. I just don't know if they're still around. But I don't know. I mean, the concept seems interesting. Call of Duty, but with magic. I never got super far into it to like see what the story was about. But the funny thing is, the actor, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but the actor that you see on the box art, I believe he is in Chicago PD. And I'm not a big Chicago PD like watcher, but whenever it is on Wednesdays for Chicago, I don't know what they call it, whatever they have, like they call it for Wednesday night, I will watch it and I'm like, yo, it's the guy from Immortals of Avium. So that's my memory of this game. But yeah, I definitely do think I want to, I've been wanting to platinum this for a while, but every time I look at PSN profiles and see, I think it's like at a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I'm always like, why is it so difficult? But yeah, we're gonna check it out at some point in the future. Wow, I just realized there's no J or K games in my physical collection. That's interesting. But anyway, we move straight into the L's. Only 2 games here actually, and they're both in the same franchise. Life is Strange Double Exposure. This one came out last year, and I remember this game didn't do that well. When it came to like reviews, I think were good, but like the fan base didn't really like this one as much, and so that's always been interesting to me. And so I did, again, I love Life is Strange. I'm a Life is Strange sicko. And so whenever they released the trailer, I think it was at the Xbox Showcase last year, I was hyped immediately. And of course, reviews came out and I just decided to wait to get it. And I think I got this from Gamefly of all places, actually. Because you can buy pre-owned games from Gamefly. And I think this one was on sale for $15. So I just went on ahead, jumped the gun, got it there. And definitely want to check this out at some point. Ideally, I wanted to check it out over my Christmas break. It's only Tuesday, but I'm in the middle of like something that's like that gonna take a while, and so yeah, kind of unfortunate I couldn't play, a Telltale or a Life is Strange over the Christmas break, but I definitely will find time to play Life is Strange Double Exposure. But the Life is Strange game that I did enjoy a lot, probably my favorite out of the series so far, is True Colors. I absolutely loved True Colors. I played so this one came out, when did this come out? 2022? 2021? I cannot quite remember. But I got this I played it in 2023 before Jedi Survivor dropped, and I love this game. Again, I love this franchise. I love these characters actually in this game. I don't remember, hold on, it's probably on the box. Alex Chen. She was a fantastic protagonist. And I remember, the premise, like, in previous games, you're like a telekinetic person. In this one, you're using your psychic power of empathy, as the back of the box says. I remember, even myself included, I'm like, how can you make a Life is Strange game based around feelings, right? No, but as ridiculous as it sounds coming from my mouth, it actually works. That premise works for this game. It really does. And even across the course of the 5 games, you meet plenty of characters that are incredibly intriguing. You want to learn everything about them. You're in this small town, which is really a really nice setting for a Life is Strange game. And I mean, dude, this game is just so good, man. It's so good. This is the only one I have the platinum for as well. Because I did want to go, because usually for these games, it's just complete the episodes and find the collectibles. And I did want to, I did have a guide up for this, and I made sure to find all the collectibles so I can get the platinum for this. And so, yes, I love Life is Strange, and I especially love Life is Strange True Colors. This game is phenomenal. All right, we are steadily moving along here. Next up, we have Mafia: The Old Country. This dropped August of 2025. These dark box, it's gonna be hard to see these, so I might have to hold these up pretty close and at an angle, a weird angle. But yes, Mafia: The Old Country. So Mafia games, I'm not like super in my bag about with the Mafia. That was a weird way to phrase it, but I did keep an eye out on this one. It looked really good. I kind of like the whole like smaller, shorter angle we're taking here. I think it was only a $50 title, which is really nice. You don't really see that a lot these days. And so had the makings, like a lot of fantastic points, and definitely I kept my eye out for it. Reviews dropped, they all seemed to do really well, and so I just kept my eye out for it whenever it dropped on a sale. It was like $30 at one point over like Black Friday, Christmas sales, and so that's when I jumped the gun. That's when I got it. Now seems to be the perfect time to get it because they finally released like a free ride update, and so I'm pretty sure you can get all the collectibles and everything in one go. And so yeah, definitely want to check this out at some point. I don't think, usually when it comes to these games, I like to play them all, like play the whole series at one time. This one, since I think it takes place before the Mafia trilogy, I think I'll just jump in and play this one like by itself and just see how this works from like a newcomer perspective. And so very interested for that. Kind of a continuation on the PS3 side of things, but I also got the Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 collection, or hold on, yeah, okay, I read that right. Metal Gear Solid 1, or Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 Master Collection. I'm sorry, I kept having to look, but this one includes the first three in like the trilogy. So Metal Gear Solid, which was released on PS1, Metal Gear Solid 2, and Metal Gear Solid 3, which both released on the PlayStation 2. And so I think the main reason this one appeals to me more so than the PS3 version is the fact that I can play Metal Gear Solid 1 without having to like look for some kind of alternate way. It's all in one package. And so yes, I think whenever I do, because again, I really got this because I want to experience the Metal Gear games. I've only ever played like the beginning of Snake Eater years ago. I've never played Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2. I do know like the main, like the big twist in 2, but that's about it. And I know like some of 1, like the whole thing with Psycho Mantis and like him reading your memory card and whatnot, which I think is really cool. But that's about all I know from those 2 games. I do know like some spoilery things from 3, but it'll definitely be interesting to experience all of it though for the first time from my perspective. And so I thought this collection was probably like the best way to do that. And it was only like $20 when I got it. And so figured it would, $20 for 3 games in this economy, I figured that was a really good deal. Even they are older games, but still, that I thought that was a good deal. So there's Metal Gear. And I think at this point I do have all of like the, I guess, main line Metal Gear games. I know there's like the 2D ones, of course, but I'm not really like worried about not having those. Next up we have Midnight Suns Enhanced Edition, which I'm assuming is just like a PS5 edition. I remember seeing a lot of good things about this when it first came out, and I'm not like someone who's really into what would the genre be? I guess strategy games would be the best way. Like this plays very similar to XCOM, which I've just never like, I don't want to say got into, but I just never like gravitated towards, I guess. And so, I mean, of course, if you put that in like a Marvel skin, then I don't know, you kind of have my attention there. This one is a little different too. Like you have to like become friends essentially with all the Marvel characters that are up here. And so I don't know, like there's a lot of interesting ideas here. I do feel like this one's kind of fallen off over the last few years. I remember like, I think a lot of people liked this in the beginning. People don't seem to like it as much now, or as much as I think they wanted to back then. I don't really know, but I don't know. I'm gonna definitely keep my eyes, and just keep my eyes out on it and play it at some point. Got my dog going crazy. I hope it's not too distracting for y'all, but now we get into possibly the most interesting game of 2025. Interesting in a bad way. That's Mind's Eye. So this is like 100, I'm not kidding at all when I say this. When they announced this at the State of Play back in, I think, February, I was actually interested in this. I have it on the record too. It's in my, I think, like my February monthly check-in or something. If you want to go back and watch that, I do state on the record that this game, actually, I was hyped for this game. And so, I kept my eyes out for it, watched some trailers whenever they kept dropping. And I remember back when, like, before this came out, like June, there were some videos talking about how this game was like not shaping up to be what I think we all thought it would be, like previews and stuff, like kind of giving off red flags and whatnot. I wouldn't say I was optimistic, but I still like kept an eye out for it and just like wanted to see what people were saying when this came out. And oh boy, when this came out, they tore this game up. They were tearing it up. I think since then it has gotten a little better. It has improved a little bit with like bugs and patches and stuff, but even still, that first impression left a mark. And like, this is without a doubt, I think, gone down as either one of the worst or one of the most disappointing games of 2025, depending on who you ask. And so, I don't know, I was still kind of intrigued to get this, even with all the bad stuff going on. And so, of course, I did get it on the sale. I was not gonna pay full price for it when it came out. I couldn't because I was about to get laid off, so I had other priorities then. But I did want to wait for a sale, and I think I got it when it was like 20 bucks, again, on GameFly. And I think I recently saw it go on sale for like 10. I wasn't really like too like mad about that though. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes whenever I do play it though. Next, we have Mortal Kombat 1. I really wanted to enjoy this game, and I don't know, I kind of fell off on this after a while. If you look on YouTube, the discourse around this game, I don't think a lot of like hardcore fighting gamers like this one as much. That's like, I remember, so I do, like, when this first was coming out in 2023, I do remember seeing all the trailers. I do remember seeing a bunch of TikToks for it. That's what really kind of hyped me up, was all the edits people were making on TikTok. And just all like the interesting things, how this one was kind of like, what's the word, like rebooting the franchise maybe? I don't know if that's the right terminology here, but bringing all like the classic stuff from the PS2 Mortal Kombat games and whatnot. And so, I don't know, just seeing a lot of things about this. And this was another game my sister got for my birthday, and I played for a few hours when I first got it, and then I tried playing the story at some point. It did not make any sense to me. And the thing with fighting games as well is like, they just take a long time to practice and master and everything like that. And I just don't, at least at the time when I tried to play this, I just couldn't find the motivation to do that either. And like, I just kind of fell off on this after a while. I guess at some point, if I'm ever just in a Mortal Kombat mood, I may boot it up and give it another try. But for now, yeah, I just kind of, it is what it is. I did buy like the, one of the fighter passes. I think there's another one now at this point, which kind of like, I don't know. I'm kind of a little annoyed with that, but yeah, I guess at some point I will just hop back in and just see what I can do with Mortal Kombat 1. This one, when did I get this? I want to say I got this maybe October, but I'm gonna get this one a little bit closer, but Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster, I think is what the whole box art title is. Full focus, there we go. And I got the deluxe edition because this was only $50 when I got it on Amazon. And the main reason I did get it actually was because I canceled my Game Pass way back when. This definitely would have been something I played on Game Pass, but since I got rid of it and they were releasing a physical version of it, I figured I would just get the physical version because I think it was cheaper. Like, doing boy math here, 2 months of Game Pass, which ideally I probably could see myself playing this longer than 2 months. But yeah, after 2 months of Game Pass, I could have just bought this game for cheaper too, because it was only $50 when I got it. And so Yeah, I just figured that would be the better like trade-off, I guess. And plus, I own it now. Although it does say down here, internet required. I'm pretty sure that's just for the download, because it's 130 gigabytes, which is wild to think about. But I'm actually very curious now that I think about it, I'm very curious how big the original Oblivion, like that size was, because yeah, I'm pretty sure this blows, I know for a fact this blows it out of the water. But yeah, Oblivion, I mean, I never played Oblivion. I don't ever, I thought about buying it at one point before they like shadow dropped the remake or remaster. And so yeah, definitely, I still need to play Skyrim at some point in time, but I definitely do, like now that Oblivion and Skyrim are out there, I definitely want to check out both for sure. Moving on to another interesting 2025 release, we have Painkiller. I remember seeing gameplay for this, and it seemed very interesting. I'm always down for like a fast-paced, first-person boomer shooter, if that's what you want to call it. But this one is a multiplayer game. I don't think you have to play in a multiplayer, but this is one of those, you can definitely do it in single player, but it's heavily encouraged to play whatever. But yeah, I mean, again, even though I didn't hear great things about this one, I was still somewhat intrigued to check it out. Because again, I'm always down for like a nice, fast-paced first-person shooter game. I don't think the platinum is terribly difficult. I just realized, I'm looking at the back. It says no offline mode, and so I just thought, you know, what a time we live in. You know what I mean? But yes, I know this one didn't do well review-wise, or I guess just player-wise, but I'm still kind of intrigued to check it out. Then we have the Pathless, one of the first PS5 indie games. This box is just laced with stickers. You can't even really, I mean, just too much at the top. But the Pathless, I don't really know how well to describe this. You're just kind of like running around the map, shooting a bow and arrow at certain things. That's kind of it. That's really just the best I can explain it. But yeah, that's the Pathless. I just figured, like, I remember like seeing this when it first dropped on PS5, and I'm pretty sure I could have definitely gotten it digital on sale, but I prefer physical, and so that's what I did. It was $15. Pretty sure I got this during like a buy two get one as well, so figured it was a nice trade-off there. Moving on, we have the Patrick Star game. This one took me a while to get on Amazon for whatever reason. I guess they just didn't want me to have the Patrick Star game, but I figured I had, at this point, I have the first, like the remaster they did for the first SpongeBob, like Battle for Bikini Bottom, and then whichever one they released a few years back, they dropped on PlayStation Plus, and so I had that one. That was the second one I had, and then I just figured I would get this, just kind of complete that trilogy until they went on and released a fourth one that came out like a month ago. And so, yeah, definitely at some point, I want to go and like platinum all the SpongeBob games, and this is just one I figured I would get to just continue that train. And so there's the Patrick Star game. This one's very different though from the traditional like SpongeBob games. This one I think definitely plays around more with like physics and stuff, and so there's that. Next up, to kind of explore my gaming palette a little bit, we have Persona 3 Reload. So I think I talked about this, I touched on this a little bit in my PS4 video, but Persona is a series I'm not like super familiar with. I do a Persona 5 Royale, but I never played, I only played for like maybe an hour, maybe a couple hours or so. And so yeah, I do remember this one coming out last year, and my main, like, the only time I really heard people talk about this game was a podcast I listened to, the Kind of Funny podcast. You know, just some people really vibe with those games, and so I kind of kept this one on my radar. And so again, I played Catherine last year, and so after that, Atlas has kind of really been on my radar ever since. And so I just figured this was on sale for like $20, and I'm like, you know, I kind of just want to venture out and just try different things every now and then when it comes to gaming. And so I just figured I would give this a shot. Does touch on some heavy subject matter, and considering some things that have been going on with my life, I don't know if this is like gonna be the perfect time to play it, but it's at some point in the future though, I do want to check it out and just see what, like, you know, what are they cooking up with Persona 3. We got another indie game, The Plucky Squire. I remember like seeing reviews and stuff when this came out last year, and they seemed like they were really good. And so the premise, because I mean, I wanted to look at like gameplay as well, the premise and like the whole like being like, I'll show the back, like going from 2D to 3D environments and stuff, that whole premise seemed really interesting. And so I kind of had this one on my radar since. I do remember it was like earlier in the year when I was talking about indie games, someone did recommend the Plucky Squire. So I've always kind of had this on my radar since. I was thinking about getting this one digitally at one point, but I always just want to prefer to get physical whenever I can. And so this one was on sale, a pretty good sale, and that's why I got it. And I'm looking forward to trying this one out pretty soon. This was another kind of low-key release for 2025, but it's The Precinct. I do remember seeing reviews and stuff for this one as well. It's pretty much just like, from, to quote one review, it's like GTA, but instead of the criminal, you're the police, pretty much. It's a top-down, open-world police game. You know, you're just going around stopping crimes and whatnot, from what I've gathered. And I don't know, that kind of hooked me in, that, you know, that whole premise. I did get, as you can see, the limited edition. I got this on Amazon. This was another game that was on sale as well. And so for this one, you get a steelbook and a map of the city. I don't want to open that up just yet. I prefer to kind of just wait until I'm ready to play this, to open it up and just take a look at all that. But physical, you know, The Precinct. One of my favorite games of 2024, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. So, like I said, I think in that video, Prince of Persia is a series I had heard about, but I never played before. And, you know, 2024, one of my goals for that year was to play a lot more 2024 releases, and this was really the first main big release, you can say, that came out in 2024. And so I remember, you know, reviews and stuff seemed to be pretty good. I did not pre-order this, again, just because I never played Prince of Persia, so I didn't know what to expect. But once I watched the review, I remember it was like whenever the day, either the day it came out or the day before. I remember watching the review and I pre-ordered it. Well, not pre-order, but I scheduled for like pickup that day or whatever. And I fell in love with the game. I had a fantastic time playing Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, platinuming Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. You know, I'm not like someone who's like jonesing for a 2D action game, but this one was really satisfying to play through. I think before this, I'd played Arkham Origins Blackgate, which I was not the biggest fan of, but this one, I really enjoyed this one. The combat in this is incredibly smooth. Platforming is also really smooth. You know, you're unlocking multiple things throughout the game, and so you're always just, you know, it's a little, I mean, Metroidvania-y, so you're always unlocking new things. So you're going back to different environments and just using those new things to unlock new areas. Really fun game. I couldn't recommend this enough if you're like, you know, just want something different, really. Like, that's what hooked me into this. Like, I just wanted something different. The trailers and stuff looked interesting. I played the demo for this. I enjoyed what I played in the demo. And so, yeah, man, I had a fun time. Really enjoyed Prince of Persia. And I want to go through and play all the Prince of Persia games, to be honest. Next up, we have The Quarry. Another one of those super massive, you know, horror, make your own choice games. I've barely started this, to be completely honest. I got this back in 2022. I do remember, I think it was Thanksgiving. We were in Florida. I think I saw it then on sale and I got it. And so played for only like 30 minutes. I was just in that weird phase. Well, I'd kind of come out of my burnout phase, but still, I just, you know, horror games, again, just aren't my cup of tea. Well, I shouldn't say my cup of tea. It's just hard. Like, I just need to find the right one. And so definitely do want to check out this one at some point in the future. Speaking of horror games, continuing down that line, we have A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead. I enjoy the Quiet Place movies. I'm just gonna tear off that little corner right there. I enjoy the Quiet Place movies a lot. I really enjoy the first A Quiet Place. I also enjoyed the second one. I think the second one came out like a little bit after COVID still, but we saw that in theaters. And then day one, saw that also in theaters. So I really enjoy these movies. And of course, making a game, I felt like was a natural thing, because I think the premise makes for a great horror game. And so I just figured, I mean, I like the movies. I had just played Alien Isolation when this was coming out. And so I just figured it's kind of like in the same vein where like you have to survive in silence this time. And so you just get to explore and just hide away from I don't know their exact names, but just hide from the aliens pretty much. All right, so moving on, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This was a 2021 joint. I got this shortly after I got my PS5, and the only Ratchet and Clank game I played up to that point was 2016, which I talked about quite a bit in the PS4 video. And I played it again before Rift Apart came out. Saw trailers when this was coming out, obviously. It looked really interesting. I had liked the 2016 version of Ratchet and Clank, and so I just figured, this would be a natural buy for me. I really enjoyed Rift Apart. I think I definitely need to play more of the Ratchet and Clank games before I can make a definitive decision, but this is easily so far my favorite Ratchet and Clank game. Easily one of my favorite PS5 games, also. I really like the premise, pop into different, universes, yeah, just different, no, dimension. I guess it's the same thing, but just different dimensions and whatnot. It was a really cool premise. We were still, we were at the hype of, the multiverse and the MCU and whatnot. So I thought that was, I was always down for a multiverse adventure like that. And of course, just taking advantage of the PS5, the SSD power. This is one of the first games that really took advantage of that. You don't really see a whole lot. Well, I shouldn't say you don't, because there are still some impressive uses with the SSD, but you just don't hear that being pushed a lot, how we're taking advantage of the SSD or whatnot. I guess just because we're so far into the life cycle now. But yeah, I remember this being a really an impressive showcase for the PS5 and a really fun platinum. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this one a lot. A couple games I really do need to check out. Resident Evil 4 is one of them. This is a birthday gift from my friend a couple years ago, and I remember, so this was back in 2023 when this came out. I remember just all the big deal. This even just before this, the amount of praise Resident Evil 4 got was just it was incredible. And so when this came out, of course, it was that same art, same thought just came back. This game is phenomenal. And I remember I played the original on my Switch when I started my other job a couple years ago. And so of course, I'm ready now. I want to check this. I understood the hype then. I'm I get why people like this game so much. And so I do want to check this out. And just play it, experience all of Resident Evil 4 in its upscaled glory. Continuing with the Resident Evil train, though, we have Resident Evil Village. This was another one I picked up from Best Buy on sale, which also came with a steelbook. There's nothing in here, nothing in the steelbook. It's all in here. And again, this is another one I played this again when I was in my burnout phase. So I only played this for a couple hours. I played enough to get to Lady D, and that is really it. But even still, I've seen so many TikToks about this over the years. I remember there was one day in I think it was back in 2023. It was in August. I remember my feed was just straight up full of one of the daughters, Lady D's daughters. And I'm what the heck is going on right now? And so I've definitely heard enough about this game. I've heard a lot about this game, and I need to check it out at some point. See what all the hype is with this. But without a doubt, probably my favorite PS5 game to date is Returnal. This was, since I got my PS5 so late, this was probably I guess my real first PS5 game. Because again, at that point, I had played maybe Miles Morales or something, but this was my first real only on PS5. My first real pickup there. And I didn't really know what to make much of with Returnal. I had never played roguelikes before Returnal, and so I just wasn't super familiar with the genre. But I mean, this game completely blew all my expectations out of the water. If you can't tell, I love this game so much. I would love to do a little retrospective for this, since this is going to be turning 5 in 2026, and we're getting their next game, Soros, in I think end of April, which that's probably aside from GTA 6, that's probably my most hyped game so far, is Soros. And so I freaking love this game. I made a video on this earlier in the year where I got the platinum for this finally, cleaned up the trophies there, because I've just been playing this is the one I guess even when I go into 2026, this has been the one PS5 game that I've still played consistently, even after I finish the story. It's just so much fun being able to just go in and just like shoot enemies and get more powerful with each run. I mean, that's what makes a good roguelike. It's just building up that power, you know what I mean? And so yes, this is definitely, I think, still one of my favorite games on PS5 that's only on PS5. And yeah, it is a harder game, but I couldn't recommend this to everyone, obviously. But I would try my best because I really love this game so much. And then rounding out the R's, we have RoboCop Rogue City and RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business. Now, RoboCop Rogue City, I got this for Christmas back in 2023, but I didn't play it until this year as part of a challenge that I did. Really fun game, really fun. I'm again, I'm more of like a casual RoboCop person. I have seen the original one back from like, I think the 80s, 70s maybe. I want to say 80s though. I do remember seeing that, and then of course I saw the remake that they made back in 2014, which I don't think no one really talks about that anymore. But even though I think there's like they make a lot of TikToks about it with like there's like one audio clip they use a lot. But yes, I've only seen the original I've only seen it maybe like once or twice in my whole life, and then I might have seen 2, and I never watched 3. I watched like the first 5 minutes of it, and I'm like, what are we doing? Because like I thought there was like some kind of like war going on or whatever. I'm like, what are we doing? This is like so far, I could be wrong, but I'm like, this is so far from what I remember RoboCop being. But I did like, you know, I think this one's a Nacon game, Teon. They made, before this, they made a Terminator Resistance, which I don't think did super well review-wise. I do think a lot of people like it though. But this one actually did really good, I guess, on both fronts, reviews and people liking this game. And so I remember playing the demo of this on my PC back in like 2023, but my PC, like, I need to upgrade this PC so bad because I can't really, if I try to play anything modern these days, it ain't running. And so, of course, I got this on PS5 and I platinumed this back in the summer. Really enjoyed my time with it. So much so that I went on ahead. I didn't buy it right away, but I got Unfinished Business, which is like the expansion to RoboCop. I got this was on sale too for like $20, which was like $10. I think normally this is $30. And so, I mean, I like RoboCop that much, so I just figured I would go ahead and get it. And I want to play this one soon as well because I like Rogue City, and I mean, if it's anything like this, if Unfinished Business is anything like that, I know I'm gonna have a good time with this one as well. So there's that. And now we're gonna wrap this thing up. We are in the S's, and then we have a lot of S games actually, but we go from S to W, so we're almost done here. We're gonna wrap this thing up real quick, real nice. Starting the S's off, we have Saints Row, a very, very, very controversial game that released back in 2022. I wasn't super heavy into the Saints Row games like I am now, obviously, after making a bunch of retrospectives on the channel. But, you know, I'd played enough to like I would say I was a fan of it back when, I mean, 2013, 2014 was when the series was ending, at least for the, like, as we knew it. And then, of course, Volition released Agents of Mayhem back in 2017. But this was like, I'm making retrospectives on these. Agents of Mayhem is like set in the same universe as Saints Row, but of course it's not like a true Saints Row sequel in some sort of way. This one though, so like if you didn't play Agents of Mayhem, it had been almost 10 years since the last Saints Row game. And of course this one's a remake, or not remake, a reboot. You know, we're in a whole new ball game here, new characters, new setting, all that. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think this game was as bad as the internet was making it seem back in 2022. Granted, I am playing this like 3 years after it came out, so there's been plenty of patches, plenty of bug fixes, even though I still ran into plenty of bugs when I played it. But it's still, it's, you know, it's whatever, which I think is not what a lot of people wanted from Saints Row. I have a lot of thoughts on this game. I'm still working on a retrospective for this, so that'll definitely come out in the near future. But again, I don't think this game is as bad as the internet was making it out to be. It's just not super great, which I mean, I think it's just really like it's just way worse than, you know, if it was a bad game, it's just a bad game. But the fact that it has some potential to it, it just kind of makes it makes the wound a lot more worse, if that makes sense. Next we have Severed Steel. I remember I got this. I remember when I went to get Assassin's Creed back in the beginning of the year. I was just doing some browsing, seeing what they had, and this game kind of grabbed my eye. It was pretty cheap too. It's only like, if it'll focus, like 12 bucks. Yeah, like 12, so it was 12 and some change. And I don't know, it seemed like I looked at the back of the box, you know, stylish combat, whatnot. Let it focus. There we go. We got stylish combat and whatnot, and so I looked at some like gameplay real quick. I looked at the platinum like PSN profiles, see what I was getting myself into, and I mean, it just seemed very intriguing, and so I got it. I still have yet to play it. I would like to get it to it pretty soon, but I mean, I just figured, you know, it just looked interesting, and that's the main reason I got it. See, my most recent pickup here is Silent Hill 2. I know it is currently, at the time of me recording this, it is on PlayStation Plus Extra, so I could have gotten that way, but I like getting physical when I can, and this was on sale for like $27, and I figured, why not? That seems like a pretty decent price to me. I've never played any of the Silent Hill games. I've heard a lot about the Silent Hill games, especially Silent Hill 2. This year I heard a lot more, well, these last couple years after this came out, because this came out last year, but Silent Hill F was another game that came out this year that I heard a lot of talk about, a lot of discourse, and so I just figured I'd give it a shot. You know, again, I've never played the Silent Hill games. I know there's a version on the PS3, but that's like the worst version to play, and so this one though is pretty faithful to, you know, the originals, and so I just figured I would get the remake. I would still at least like to play the original in some capacity at some point, but I figured this for now will do me fine. Getting into another bad game, we have Skull Island: Rise of Kong. You know, when I look back at like the bad games from like 2022, 2023, you have that 1-2 punch of Gollum and this. And there's another one actually, I'm gonna get to it a little bit later, but there's this one too. So like, I guess a 1-2-3 knockout, if you want to say. This is the 2. So I got this again because I heard how bad it was. I thought it'd be fun to make a video on it, but I played for like 30 minutes and I'm like, dude, this is not fun at all. I don't like this, and so I put it down, but I'm committed now, so at some point in time I'm gonna have to get the platinum for this. But yeah, you guys, you know the memes, you know how bad this game is, and so yeah, man, interesting to see how this plays out whenever I get around to it. Next up, I didn't realize the case, I don't know, I don't think it makes much of a difference, but we have Sonic X Shadow Generations, that Peggy 7 down in the corner instead of like E10 or whatever. I'm not like a huge Sonic fan. Again, I would consider myself a very casual Sonic fan. I've only played like a handful of Sonic games throughout my life, but I remember when this came out last year, I saw like some reviews and stuff, and it kind of put on my radar since. And then at the beginning of the year, it was on sale for like $25, so I figured I would give it a shot. I think this is a remaster of like just Sonic Generations, which came out on PS3, and then there's like some Shadow levels thrown into the mix. I actually like Shadow the Hedgehog quite a bit, and so that was like, when I saw him, I don't remember what exactly, I think it might have been a state of play or just something they showed this off, maybe like Game Awards, or I don't know, wherever they showed this off. When they showed Shadow the Hedgehog, I popped off immediately. I really enjoy Shadow the Hedgehog, and so yeah, yeah, I'm trying to get into the Sonic games, which is the main reason why I got Sonic X Shadow Generations also. So yeah, dude, excited to check this one out too. Moving on to some bangers here, we have Spider-Man 2. A lot of revisionist history going on with this one. Like, this one seemed to be popping off super hard when it came out, but literally like 6 months after, people started hating this game, and I'm like, bro, what happened? People like this game. Now no one likes, well, I shouldn't say no one, but not a lot of people like it anymore if YouTube is to like be the main talking point for this game. Because yeah, it's just like after like that, because I remember like there was so much hubbub with the Game Awards that year when Baldur's Gate 3 won. Granted, I feel like you get that a lot every year recently with the Game Awards, but yeah, it's like when this lost, everyone was mad because it's like, what? I've never heard of Baldur's Gate 3. But like now, it doesn't seem like anyone likes this game at all. I enjoyed it. Like, I don't know. Like, I love this game. I love I enjoyed the story for the most part. Being able to swing around New York feels better than ever. You have a bunch of suits. You can play as Peter and Miles. Like, I don't know, man. That seemed the recipe for success to me. Yeah, the Venom stuff may seem a little rushed, but other than that, like, I didn't really find too many problems with the story personally. But I don't know, man. This like, the vibes when this came out were just immaculate, man. Like, this came out around my birthday. I started my new job. This is the first time I ever called out for a game before, so that was fun. And I mean, dude, I just have a lot of fun memories with Spider-Man 2. I still enjoy it. We have a PS4 game thrown in the mix, but I'm including it because I didn't know about PS4, so I would have included it in the last video, but I'm playing the PS5 version. That would be Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. One of my favorite games from 2019. You know, for a while, Star Wars games were kind of just like in the mud for Star Wars games, because you gotta remember, this was around the time when Battlefront 2 was slowly starting to make its comeback. Like, it came out in 2017 and it was just not that great. But like over the course of those couple years, it started to come up. And so the hype was slowly coming back for Star Wars games. And then this one got announced. Like, this one actually got announced in like April of 2019. I think it was April 2019. And then just like a few months later, we got the game. And so, yeah, dude, this restored my faith in Star Wars games. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like, I remember when the trailers were coming out, yeah, it was still EA, but Respawn couldn't miss, because this was still when they were in their Titanfall era, and those two games were phenomenal. And so I was looking forward to see what they were cooking up with Fallen Order. And so once it came out, I was shocked. I was stunned. I enjoyed this game, had a fun time. My friend, unfortunately, did spoil the ending for me on accident, but I was still pretty pissed about that. But even still, that build up to the moment was phenomenal. Such a fun Star Wars game. Like, I'm glad we got this, because this led to probably one of my favorite games of all time, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. You know, just, you want to make a fantastic game, build upon the stuff that worked in the original game, and also just, like, you know, take all the bad stuff and just make improvements that make sense. Jedi Survivor, without a doubt, one of my favorite games of all time. I think, probably my favorite Star Wars game ever made, to be point blank period. Like, this is a fantastic video game. And I remember, I have very fond memories of this one too. This one came out 2023. I think April 2023. And it was around the time when I was graduating college as well. And so, you know, I didn't have a lot going on. I mean, of course I had finals and stuff, had final projects to work on. But once I was done with that, I could just pour all my attention into this game. I platinumed this, as well as the PS4 version of Jedi Fallen Order, like really, like within a month or so. And yeah, dude, I freaking love these. I love the Jedi games, and I'm very, very excited to see what they do in the third game. Speaking of, while we're on the topic of like Respawn, rest in peace to Vince Zampella. Like, he died like, I think a week or so ago. Very tragic, because again, he was like, I think he was the CEO of Respawn. And I mean, again, Respawn's responsible for creating some of Titanfall and the Jedi games are some of my favorite video games ever. And so, yeah, rest in peace to that man, for real, because without him, I don't know if we would have gotten these games, for like, to be completely honest. And again, some of my favorite games ever. And so, but now we move on to one that, again, I don't think a lot of people are super jazzed on, but I still found a lot of enjoyment from it, and that is Star Wars Outlaws. As you can see, it's the gold edition, so I shelled out like $120, I think, for this version. Got to play it 3 days early. I got the season pass, and of course I got the game. Yeah, this one was very interesting when I got it. So of course, in the beginning, you know, you're seeing all the reviews and stuff, and of course, like, I can say this because I'm in the fandom, but Star Wars fans are just never happy with anything. Like, no one seemed to be, even when the reviews were good, people still found something to complain about with this. And I'm just like, bro, I don't understand where y'all are coming from, because this is the first time we've ever gotten an open world Star Wars game. That's one. Like, dude, I don't know. It's taking place between episodes 4 and 5. Again, we don't really see that a lot in canon, and so both of those points really, like, got me hyped for the game. But I mean, yeah, so I will admit, I did have some problems when I first got it, because again, I got it early, right? And I did run, there was some bugs, like a bug going around where, like, if you bought it 3 days early, your progress was lost, so you have to restart the game, even though you got it early, so that 3 days was kind of like a waste. I did run into a little bug that, like, prevented me from leaving the planet at some point. I couldn't find, like, anyone else who had the same bug. It turns out it was just a side mission I was doing. Like, whenever I did it, it bugged the game or something. I don't really know. But aside from that, like, once I was really able to get the game going, I had a fun time with this. I had a blast. I made that trophy video last year. I would love to do a retrospective on this at some point, now that it's been a little over a year now. All the bugs and stuff have been worked out. There's been a lot of improvements made to the game. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed my time with Outlaws. I feel like I'm in the minority there when you look at, like, all the discourse online. It doesn't seem like a lot of people enjoyed this game, but there was like a small dedicated fan base that really did. And it sucks too, because I think they canceled plans for this, like, a sequel to this, which just really sucks. Because again, I love this game. I know a lot of people out there love it as well. And yeah, it just kind of sucks. Like, the negativity drowned out the positivity in this case. So, all right, we are slowly wrapping things up here. We have one more Star Wars title. That's Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I originally did not get this on PS5. I originally got this on my Nintendo Switch. And this one, I got the deluxe edition for that. The case has like a little, like, nice little clear see-through thing, so you can lift up Darth Vader's mask, and it's just, really cool case design there. Back of the box, just show you what I got. At least when I first got it. We got the deluxe edition, so we got the actual game. We got 7 DLC character packs, and Luke Skywalker with his blue milk, which I still have unopened. I never built it because, I mean, I don't know, feel like it can go for a lot one of these days. I'm that kind of person here. But yes, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, played on my Switch, but would love to play it and get the platinum on PS5 whenever I get around to it, because again, I'm going through this whole platinum challenge here, and I don't know, when I played it, I did enjoy my time with it. I do think there are, like, again, just because the game is so different, this is not a perfect Lego game by a long shot. I do have some problems with it, but overall, I do think it is a good Lego game. I definitely think it was worth the wait, like the multiple delays. I think it had been a good, like, 4 or 5 years between the last game that came out before this one, and I think the wait was worth it, because again, we're adapting 9 movies here. That's a lot of material, and so I do think TT Games was able to pull it off. Again, very different from, like, previous Lego games, from combat, graphics, exploring the worlds, and everything like that. And so, yeah, I'm actually really excited to dive back into this whenever I do get around to it. Probably gonna be a little while, just because I have a lot of Lego games to go through. And this is gonna be a beefy platinum from what I've been hearing, just because of all the collectibles and stuff. I think when I finished on my Switch, because I don't have the actual game with me anymore, I think when I finished it, I played through all 9 episodes and was doing, like, some cleanup here and there, but I think it was only at 45%, and so yeah, I got a lot to do there. But anyway, moving on from that, next game we have is Stellar Blade, one of the more interesting releases from 2024, for very interesting reasons, to say the least. I could always go for the obvious, the character design of Eve, I think that's her name. Could always talk about that, but I think the main thing, like, I played the demo for this before it came out, and I enjoyed it for the most part. It does kind of feel a little Soulsy in a way, but not like, it is not a Souls-like, I think, by any means, but it kind of has that vibe a little bit. But, I think whenever I get around to it, just mess around with some settings, maybe see what I can do, see what I can get cracking there. I can see myself like finding some enjoyment from it. And so yeah, this was another birthday gift I got last year. My dad got me this one. It's still in the shrink wrap though. I kind of feel bad about that because I do need to play it. But yes, this is one that's kind of just sitting in the backlog right now. Another interesting game to talk about here. We have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This is another one. I will say, I was a little skeptical about this one because I do remember seeing all the trailers and stuff and it looked pretty intriguing at the time. But then, you know, over the time when they're like, oh, there's gonna be a battle pass and there's gonna be online and it's gonna have this, have that, all the red flags to me. And I'm just like, why are we doing this? And so I remember they showed it off at a State of Play, I think back in like 2023. No one liked it. So they delayed the game a whole year to fix some of that stuff. People still didn't like it when it came out. I was able to find some enjoyment from it, but I definitely like this is definitely, in terms of the Arkhamverse, because it's set in the Arkhamverse, easily the weakest game in the Arkhamverse. Gameplay is fun. I will admit that the gameplay is fun, especially once you find a member of the Suicide Squad that you want to play as. That's fine. Like for me, after like a few hours, because I was jumping back and forth between all of them because I needed to play as all of them for the trophies and stuff. Harley Quinn ended up being my main for the game. Being able to like swing around was like, after a while, I got used to it and it was pretty fun. But yeah, Suicide Squad is an interesting one to say the least. I do have the platinum for this one, and I have jumped around into this here and there whenever they were dropping new stuff, especially for Deathstroke. I think that's when I played like quite a bit. But other than that, I just never, like, you know, once I finished it, I was kind of done, which is kind of like antithetical to what live services should be. You know, like you're supposed to keep playing it, right? I didn't. Even still, when it comes to live service in general, if I do get my hooks in one, I barely stay around for the end game. This is like the only time I ever did that, and it was, again, it was for the platinum. And so I did that for a week. Once I was done, I was done. I didn't touch it since, or I hardly touched it since. And so there's that. To wrap things up though, we have a couple games in the W that I don't really know much about, so I'm gonna make this pretty quick. But first is that third, boom, the knockout, Walking Dead Destinies when it comes to bad video games. Again, I just figured, I think this and Skull Island were both Game Mill games, and so that probably has a lot to do with their quality here. But the premise is intriguing because it takes place in the TV universe, but you get to make choices and change things. So that premise there is very interesting. But I guess how they stick the landing, that's what I'm very curious about, because again, a lot of videos came out that year about how this was a bad game, and I'm just very interested. I'm very interested to check this one out. And finally, to wrap things up, we have Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. The gameplay in this game looks fantastic. The graphics in this game look fantastic. And so I had heard so much about this game when it released last year. I've had this game on my radar ever since. I think they released like a version of the first game on Xbox, and I don't think a lot of people like that for whatever reason. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, ever since this came out, I've always had on my radar, always looked for like a good sale or something. And I jumped the gun not too long ago, and now we have it. Just gotta play it at some point. Just gotta give it a whirl and just, you know, mess around, see what we can do. And so yeah, that's it. That's all my physical PS5 games. Again, I accomplished my goal, made this one pretty short in comparison to all the other videos, because again, I don't have as many PS5 games as compared to PS3 or PS4, and I just don't have a lot of history with these games, mostly because they're still new. And so there's only like a handful of games out of this group that I could really pop off for. And so hopefully 2026 change that, you know, go through quite a bit of these PS5 games, because I just have a lot of them sitting in my backlog, a lot of fantastic video games that I would love to just get to at some point. And so yeah, that's the physical side of things, like PS4 video, or the PS4 side of things. I'm gonna jump into the digital side and talk about that one as well. I also see that one being pretty short too, just because I do have quite a few PS5 games, but again, haven't really played a lot of them, and so just gonna be very concise, very brief with those as well. But again, I really hope you guys are enjoying these. You know, I'm having fun talking about these games and just like, you know, going back, reliving through some memories of when I got these and like just the time in my life when I did get these and when I did play them. And so thank you all for sticking around, and I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next time.